Good morning. This is Lynn from Lynn's Corner. Um, I'm doing this video from a different location today. I'm doing the video from work. But I chose to do this video this morning from work because when I was on the way to work this morning, my son brings me to work. My teenager brings me to work. And so it gives me time to think. I always used to call my car the think tank, but I realized that even with me doing less of the driving, it's still a think tank for me. So as I was driving to work, I was telling him, I said, there was a song on, I don't know if you know CPR by Summer. Anyway, I was listening to it and I was like, telling my son, I've been through a lot of things over the past 2.5 years, and it is, the things that I've gone through have been emotional, meaning that there have been friendships and relationships that have ended, and I know I've kind of alluded to this or talked about this in my videos, but there have been friendships and relationships that have ended that I would have never thought that they would have ended. Number one, I never would have thought they would have ended. And number two, I would have never thought that they ended the way that they did. And what that has taught me, because people say all the time, oh yeah, what you go through makes you stronger, and makes you a better person, makes you this, makes you that. And that may be true. But one thing that I can say, when you are stripped away from the people that you put the most value in, not your family, but these friends, these relationships that you have with people, when you are stripped away of those things, you are left with the question of, who are you outside of those people? Who are you outside of those people? Like, who are you as an individual outside of those relationships, outside of those friendships? Like, you within your total self, who are you? And that has been the question that I have subconsciously been answering. And I have subconsciously been dealing with the aspects of myself that I didn't really see was there. You see, you can be in these friendships and these relationships and be hiding from yourself within those friendships and relationships. And a lot of times we don't even know we're hiding from ourselves. We don't know that. A lot of times we have no idea that what we're doing is using these relationships or these friendships as a safe place to not have to look at ourselves to the degree that we need to look at. Now, we can say, yeah, we do the work and all that, but I remember a time, and I'm going to say much of my life, where I felt like, oh, I had to be in a romantic relationship, had to have one, had to be in one, right? And so when I was in those relationships, my focus was the relationship and not Lynn, right? I would be all into what was going on with me and him and what he said and what he did and where we going and how we're doing right now. And much of my conversation was the man, right? And even with I have 4 children. And so even outside of the man, much of my conversation was my children. But the question comes back to, who are you outside of these relationships? Who are you? Right? And can you stand alone comfortably? That's another question. Can you stand alone comfortably? Or Do you stand alone begrudgingly? Do you stand alone still wanting to be somewhere else or with somebody else or with new friends? Like, can you stand within yourself, within the very essence of who you are? Can you stand within yourself? That's a question. And I don't know that many people have ever even thought about it. You know what I mean? Oh, of course, yes. I'm still myself. I go out with my girlfriends and don't no man hold me down and all of these kinds of things. To see the light just went out. No man holds me down and I'm still me and I don't cut my girlfriends back for the man. And see, this is the thing. Sometimes people feel like it's going to either be the girlfriends or the man, or the girlfriends and the man. How about it just be you? And I'm not saying that people can't have healthy relationships. The question is, how healthy are you as an individual when you're inside of these friendships and when you're inside of these relationships? How healthy are you as a person? As a person, how much do you truly value yourself? Or do you put your value within, I have a man, or I have a husband, you know what I'm saying? Or me and my bestie been friends for 20 something years and I've been friends with her for 35, 36 years. Where's the value in you? When those things and those people get stripped from you, guess what? You're left with yourself. And you're left with yourself on a daily basis. And you're left with yourself to deal with yourself and to grow those aspects and areas of yourself that you have been ignoring and that you have not acknowledged because you've been all hemmed up and tied up with these men or women, if a man is watching this, tied up with the women or tied up with these friends, these girlfriends, these buddies, these dudes, whoever. We gotta really, really, really think about that question, because let me tell you something. I'm in my 50s, and you know what I noticed? Let me say this. These young girls, I ain't gonna say young girls, but these women in their 30s, they get it. And I don't know if it's because they've watched their moms be so engrossed in everybody else other than themselves, but these young girls, they get it, and I love it. And so just take the time to ask yourself that question. Who am I outside of these people? The people, your people, those people. Who am I? Who am I? How have I developed within myself outside of those people? So that's just a question I want to ask. Just want to do a little quick video, a little short, little 1-2. And I hope you all have an amazing day. But don't forget, ask yourself. And this is another thing. Let me say this too, because if you are in a relationship and you do have good close friends, just make sure you take time for yourself. Don't be in a situation where you always got to be running with either or. You got to be with the woman or the man, or you got to be with your buddies or your girls. You see, just take time for yourself. And when I say take time for yourself, I don't really mean go get your nails done. You know what I'm saying? People talk about that kind of stuff. Oh, self-care. Yes, I went and got a massage. That's okay. Outwardly, that's good, and that does help you relax and calm down, and massages are good, and getting your nails are good. But what about, I say it all the time, sitting out in nature doing nothing, or sitting out in nature journaling? That's when you really start tapping into yourself. Sitting out in nature by yourself. Going to get to experience a sound meditation bath, right? Yoga, those things, all of those things. Just things that are going to strengthen the mind, and cause you to go within and not without. Because these friends and these people and these relationships, that's outside of yourself. You don't ever really have to deal with yourself if you're always focusing on that. So let's take the time to ask yourself, who am I outside of these people, outside of them? And do I really know? Do I really know who I am? Thank you. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. Comment below if you have some comments to make. See you soon.